Hello, Freedomer! Welcome to the Yourself Freedom Podcast number 3. My name is Alex Renaud, and I'm really happy to be able to share my knowledge and my wisdom with you so we can together uplift ourselves and be the best version of ourselves. So it's been about 2 weeks now that I haven't done a podcast because I was not feeling super good. 2019 I haven't start in the best way for me, but now I'm feeling way better and really happy to be able to share my beautiful energy, my wisdom with you. So the subject of today is about inspiration, because in order to feel uplift and to feel happy, we need to feel inspired, and inspired by life, inspired by others, so we can share beautiful energy to others. So I decided to share with you 4 ways that I'm using personally to uplift my energy so I can feel inspired and I can create something good for people, something good for me. As you probably know, if you follow me and if you know me, I'm a musician since the age of 14, and now I'm 33. I've been created 2 music albums online already for a total of 25 songs, and in order to be able to do that, I needed to find some inspiration, and the inspiration didn't came along alone, because I went for it. I went to get it. So that's my take on how to get inspiration. You guys ready for that? All right. So the number 1 way to find yourself some inspiration is to simply allow yourself the time to feel inspired, because we're so busy with life sometimes, like working and thinking about others, about what you can do for others and stuff, and we don't allow ourselves the time to be inspired. So just by saying to yourself, okay, I want to feel inspired, I want to open my mind, I want to open my soul to things around me in order to feel inspired, in order to create something nice, something that comes from my heart. So that's the number 1 step, to allow yourself to say, all right, I can be inspired. It's not it's not just others that can be inspired to do a nice action to help others, that I can do that also as well. So that's the number 1 step. And the step number 2 that I found myself having in order to be inspired is to not judging yourself. Like, don't judge yourself. It's really important to say to yourself, okay, if I feel that I want to be inspired, I need to let it flow. I need to let it flow in order for me to attract inspiration. And if I'm starting to judge myself that I don't deserve inspiration, I don't deserve to help people with my creativity, well, if you're doing that, you're just cutting the flow of inspiration, because inspiration needs you to feel open to the opportunity. And if you're judging yourself at the base, it's too good for me to feel inspired and to help others, then you're never gonna attract ways to feel inspired. So that's the step number 2. And then the step number 3, it's like one of the most important, is to find ways to empty your mind. Because the thing is, like, it's kind of like in contradiction, because you need your mind and your heart in order to create. But if you have a busy mind, you cannot have the space to really go deep within yourself, because this is from the emotion that you're living, the way you're feeling, that you can create and that you can be inspired. For example, like when I'm creating songs, I can give you an example. I wrote many songs by being on the beach looking at the ocean. So when I'm there, I'm just present. You know, I'm connected with the present moment. I'm looking at the water. I'm looking at the sky, and I just stop thinking. Instead of thinking, I'm feeling. So I'm really into the present moment, and I feel. So when I feel good, when I feel, this is where like the inspiration is coming. And in order for me to be able to express this inspiration, that's another step that I didn't say it, but it's really important to be able to get that. Is that you need ways to express yourself and to remember your inspiration. So, for example, for my part, like taking the example of music, it's like by playing guitar and singing and writing. So I'm writing my lyrics, and then afterwards, like I have a riff, for example, with my guitar, and I create the riff. And in order for me to remember, I have a recording app on my cell phone, so I can just simply record my inspiration, and by doing that, I'm sure not to lose the inspiration uh, afterwards, because it's quite easy to lose the inspiration by itself if you're like not recording and you're really connected with the present, but you don't have anything like a pen with a piece of paper, for example, or like me for recording my voice and my music. If you don't have access to tools to help you remember your flow and inspiration, then the inspiration is just a present moment that goes again, that goes afterwards forever. So it's really important to have tools and to be able to have it with you in order to remember, so you can share it afterwards. Of course, you can have flows of improvisation. You can like feel inspired and goes with the flow of improvisation. But if you really want to aim big and to be able to reach more people, then it's really important to record yourself and to write down what's important, the flow and inspiration. So that's another step. And finally, I told you, but now I'm gonna tell you more specifically. It's important to be with nature, because in order to empty your mind, it's easier to empty your mind if you are connected with nature when there's no busyness around you. So you can really more focus on what's happening inside yourself by breathing in and breathing out and just being in the present moment. And when you are in the present moment, you connected really with the source of inspiration. And by being connected with the source of inspiration, this is where the flow goes. Me, when I'm in nature, I'm creating way easier. I created lots of songs where, for example, in less than 1 hour, I started from scratch without any idea to create it like a full song of 3 minutes 30, 4 minutes, just by being connected with my heart, with my soul, with the nature, and just go for it, writing down, playing music, letting myself into the flow of inspiration. So that's my 5 steps that I'm using in order to feel inspired. So I can write, I can sing, I can play music, and just let it flow. It's so important to feel inspired, because that's the way to be able to just let the emotions, the feelings flows naturally and really circulate it. You know, like emotions are always good to express. So by having these 5 steps that I told you, you basically allowed yourself to be more connected with the flow of inspiration. So step number 1, allow yourself the time to be inspired. Number 2, don't judge yourself to feel inspired. Number 3, empty your mind. Number 4, use tools to be able to record yourself. And number 5 is to be connected with the nature. So by being connected with the nature, you create space to be able to be inspired and to be able to share it to others. So that's the podcast for today, guys. So it's really important to get inspiration so you can inspire people, because there's no other way. If you're not feeling inspired, then you cannot inspire others. So make sure to take time and to not judging yourself to be inspired and to inspire others. So until next time, guys, and I hope that this podcast will inspire you to find ways to be inspired so you can inspire others. And in the meanwhile, go visit my website, yourself-freedom.com, for more content and find more ways to inspire yourself. So until next time, guys, talk to you soon. See you. Bye.